there everyone, and welcome to Rising Lords. What better game for me to play than a game about lords? From time to time I get alpha keys sent to me by smaller game developers. This time is slightly different because I've got a middleman called Grimmy Gamer. It's another YouTuber which I've been working a bit with recently, and he's appeared in my videos and I have appeared in his. You probably might not have noticed it because the most popular videos on my channel are the Total War ones, and he has not appeared in one of those. Anyways, Rising Lord. I got this, as I said, from Grimmy Gamer, and it's from a smaller game developer. And I get quite a lot of these keys, normally actually also, sent to me via email. Now, I don't check all of them because some of them, quite frankly, aren't that good, and some of them aren't really my style of game, but this one is. I think it has the historical stuff and also reminds me of a few other games. And it's a small fun game to play. Now, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to tell you guys that you're not gonna be able to play this right now. It's on the Steam store, but you cannot buy it and download it, unfortunately. I don't know exactly how you get an alpha key, besides being some sort of YouTuber or influencer. But you can go on the Steam store, you can type in Rising Lord, and you can follow it, so you know that when it is released, you'll be there to get it right away, if you of course find this interesting. With that said, with that introduction said, let's go ahead and actually get into the game. Right, so here it is. So what it's about, it's all about these villages. You're supposed to capture them and, you know, build them up, control the population, it's food, trading, stuff like that. It is an alpha, so not all features are there, but a lot of features are there. And it's weird saying not a lot of features are there, but a lot of them are there. Enough at least to have an enjoyable experience, or at least what I think. We're gonna start off setting the settings here. I'm not entirely sure if there's supposed to be a campaign or something, but right now it's these scenarios that you play. What we're gonna do is we're gonna play a pretty easy one to start off with. We're just gonna play this little map just to take a quick look at the game, more or less, and if you like it, maybe I'll do one of the bigger games, and with an AI that might actually do something. We're gonna go have this passive bald guy wearing just a Garrison. Let's go ahead and customize our own character. So there's a few customization, but as it is alpha, there's not a lot of them. One interesting thing here, which I think a lot of people are gonna be reminded of CK2 or Crusader Kings, is a feature when creating your character. You can give them negative traits, like here's Painstaker, but I mean stuff like Craven or Careless, that gives you minus to stuff, but it gives you extra points, so you can select stuff out of this one which are positive things. As it is alpha, there's only two things you can choose between. Either a cup of wine, which gives 5 morale to all units, and so far I've not really seen the use of 5 extra morale. And then the sword, which gives the general unit 10 more damage, which I think is a much better choice. You also have battle cards, or ability cards, or whatever you want to call them, that you use in battle, stuff like take initiative, increase the initiative of a unit. Say you have a slow-moving knight unit, I can imagine, and you want that to be moved further during your turn, or moved earlier in your turn. Then you choose this. Or you want to swap places with units, or you want to increase, take aim, increase the damage the archer does, archer/crossbowman. Or you want to protect yourself against the archer crossbowman, or if you want to do an extra charge damage, and so on. Sounds fine with that deck of cards. And with that, we'll jump into actually playing We'll take control of one of these villages, and we'll see if we can't go ahead and show you a little bit of how the game works and a small battle. And here is the world we've spawned into. It's a small island containing 4 of these villages. We've got the enemy over here in Sornheim, and we over here in Oblar. We start off with 4 peasants. We have a number of different areas which we can farm or create weapons in. And yeah, I mean, I don't think I have to go through all of this. You know, the building materials, it's pretty standard for these types of games. We've got gold, we got wood, we got stone, we got iron, we got wool. Wool is both used for building structures and also making light armor. Here's the different types of armor you can have. So spears, swords, ranged weapons, light armor, heavy armor, horses. And if we go down here, we've got the population of the town. Now, each town has its own population, so as you go over the different towns, it will change. This town, we start with 1,000 people. 250 people equals one of these peasants, which I can set to work the fields or whatever I want. There's a population cap of 1,750. If we reach over that, the peasants that are going to spawn after we reach over that are going to be beggars. They're going to eat the food and they're not going to do anything, and they're just going to go around looking miserable around all over the place. Health, it's got to do with the birth rate. So if I feed my population well, then I'll have good health, which leads to a higher rate of birth, which will increase my population. Happiness, obviously you want to keep the peasants happy so they don't revolt against you. Also, if they're very happy, then you can tax them a lot. Garrison, given the different buildings you have in town, you'll get a set garrison that is specific for the town. In this case, 10 knights, 50 bowmen. You can build a number of buildings to increase this so that you can protect a valuable area. And then we go through. This reminds me so much of Stronghold, where also I get the name Lord John from, if you didn't know. I get that from Stronghold, the first one, because I remember back then, you know, I loved Stronghold, and it's a similar type of game in that it's medieval. You build your town, you have to manage food and the population, happiness, taxes, and so on. And the thing which really spawned the name Lord John was, before I actually was called Lord John, my first sort of kind of FPS shooter was actually The Killer. But someone went to me and like, The Killer? That's so like generic and like normal. You need to find something else. Like, and then I started playing Stronghold, and you know, you're a lord in the game. So I just typed that, Lord John, and when you started the game up again, the first thing the sort of the in-game voice would tell you, there were a certain number of names that they did this for, that they have pre-recorded, but they would say like, "Greetings, Lord John," and I was really impressed by that back then, and so that name just stuck. So there you have that background story. Anyways, it's very similar to Stronghold in the fact that you kind of you set in between the rations and the I was about to say cash, but the tax rate, normal tax rate. So I can't remember what is it say in Stronghold. Oh, this is the best castle I ever not worked in. No taxes, wonderful. I've got the plague. I don't think they said that, but they probably did get the plague. Then we have the food. We have wheat, sheep, horses. If necessary, you can start eating your horses. If, for say, there's an event that increases the amount of turn you spend in winter. Each year is divided into the 4 seasons, and each season is a turn. Sometimes they get special events like bear or wolves or boars turn up, or the birth rate is lowered, or winter is expanded to yet another turn, and so you might start running out of food and you go, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Okay, we're gonna start eating the horses just to keep everyone alive. And then you have cattle, which is a really good food, and also you want to have a variety of food because that makes the population happy. Also, if you can spread out a lot by all the different food supplies, then obviously the people will eat less of each, so you can increase a lot. It's easier to increase more than if I just rely on wheat. Then a lot of people are gonna eat just that wheat, and it's gonna be I'm gonna have to provide a lot of wheat. But if I spread it out, not only get the population more happy, they're more healthy because, you know, they get the vitamins from everything, just not sitting there eating porridge made from that wheat. So they get a little bit of the mutton and a little bit of from the cattle. They can get, you know, and you can get probably cheese and stuff like that. So that's good. Wheat is a little bit special. You get most of your food from wheat, but it's only harvested once a year, so you kind of have to keep that in mind and kind of plan. Okay, so I cannot have double rations because I'll run out of food before we're able to harvest the wheat. So you gotta keep that in mind. Anyways, with all that explained, let's go into actually setting some stuff up. So we have 3 fields of food, one of which is covered in thorns, so we cannot use that. And right now we don't need to use it, but later on it might be necessary for us to clear off that those thorns to open up this field. So those are the 3 food areas. Then we have wood over here and stone over here. Some areas also have iron. I think this one has an iron mine instead of a quarry, and there might be a few other areas that have different. This one also have iron. As it's a small map, there's not a great variety of things. What else is there? There's the smithy where we create weapons, and then also you can build a load of different buildings that do a lot of different stuff. Anyways, with that said, let's jump into it, shall we? And what I want to do is I want to get a lot of wheat. So the wheat is sown in winter and then harvested in fall. So you gotta make sure that you put, if you wanna get a lot of it, you put 3 peasants when it's sown, and when you keep them to when it's harvested. Otherwise, say if I decide in summer I'm gonna put 3 peasants on it, instead of just 1 that I have previously, that's not going to help because they're not going to sow new wheat during the summer. So you got to make sure that you set this. So it's a little bit special, a little bit tricky. You got to keep, you got to keep, you got to keep on your toes really to keep an eye on that. With that said, we're going to jump through a few turns here, and we're going to see about getting some extra peasants, building some new buildings, and hopefully getting a battle with our army taking out one of these smaller villages. So with that said, let's go ahead and end turn, shall we? Oh yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and increase it to normal rations. I think I should be able to make it through winter with that. And I'm gonna keep the cattle for now. We're not gonna start eating them just yet. But once we reach spring, I think I'm gonna allow the peasants to start eating beef and milk. Spring has arrived, and it's a much more wonderful map, isn't it? We're since the cattle now can graze on good fresh grass, you can see that we're increasing a lot more cattle. So I'm gonna enable us to start eating them, and we're still gonna increase the stock of cattle. The people are very healthy and they're very happy. They're so happy, in fact, that I'm going to increase the taxes to the normal tax rate. with the health that we have gathered up to 52 points, we're going to gain an extra 10. We have gained 38 peasants. So you can see 81 people were birthed or born, and then 43 died, and one guy migrated away from here. What? One bastard. I hope it doesn't come back, because then I'm gonna... One bastard migrated away. Normally what happens is, if you do this right, then people hear, oh, Lord John is, he's got double rashes, and he doesn't require them a tax, so people gonna flock to your area. Just make sure that you don't overreach the population limit, because then you're gonna have a lot of beggars all over the place. Very nice, anyways. I think I'm gonna go through quite a lot of turns just to get this going, because otherwise we're not gonna get anywhere. And we're gonna see about once we're... I'm gonna show you some of the interesting stuff that's gonna happen. But yeah, it's gonna be I'm gonna jump through quite a few turns. And with that said, before I jump over, you might wonder, who is this weird guy standing there with his... Did he laugh at me? He has a load of money and he's laughing at me. It is the merchant anyways. So you can buy and sell stuff. Right now, the only thing we cannot get in our county right now is wool and iron. So we might want to buy that. We might want to buy more food. I'm thinking we might actually want to buy some extra cattle to increase the stock there. But that's about it. So yeah, gonna end a few turns and we see where we end up. Now my town has grown quite considerably. We're now at a population of 3,690. And as you can see, I've built quite a large amount of structures. So I've built a church over here. I've built 2 manors, one down here, one down here. I've built an inn over here where we have 1 happy peasant drinking a lot of mead, which gives happiness, which enables me to tax them a little bit more. We've managed to clear this field and I've put 3 peasants there. So we're gaining a lot of food. With the population boom, I've been able to set 3 on stone quarry, 1 to wood, and we also have 2 making weapons. At this point, I think we have enough that we should be able to actually raise an army, and I think we're going to go ahead and capture Iron Mine, and I think we're going to go north. So let's go ahead then and muster an army. Also, even if someone would to attack us here, the garrison has now increased, as you can see. So we've got 10 knights, 50 bowmen, then additional 100 bowmen and 50 pikemen from the castle, which we've built here. Number of buildings can also be upgraded to level 2. Certain ones increases does different things. If I increase to level 2 for the church, I get a bishop figure that adds even more happiness. If I increase this, I get a bailiff, and I think he increases... I think both increase 25%, so 25% happiness, 25% tax for the bailiff. Anyways, time to raise an army. So here's my character. And here are the cards, as we remember. And, I mean, those are the ones that... You can, I believe, once you actually get some experience from battles and stuff, you can, in fact, go ahead and get more cards. What we're gonna do just before this, because I'm thinking I'm gonna go get some mountain knights for my army, is... Oh, I thought I could buy horses. Apparently I couldn't do that. Is it because I don't have a... I mean, if I bought sheep and I don't have no field to put it in, they'll die. But I guess I really wanted mountain knights. But we'll have to do with knights on foot. So we'll go for these guys. The mounted, the men-at-arms kind of looking dudes. So we'll have 20 of those. Then we'll have 60 crossbowmen. And then I think we're gonna have 60 archers as well. I'm not gonna bring any peasants. The thing is, here, I'm not entirely sure what all these stuff means. So there's 100 something there, and we get to 93. And out of the population, I guess that we're... Well, if we count it out, 60, 120, 140. So if we count that down, so then we take 140 out of that. Then the gold it takes to raise them. I don't know what the upkeep is. This thing, I don't know, 7 out of these. Which I don't really know what that means. Is that percentage maybe? So we take 7% out of our town? I don't know. There is a tutorial, but when I clicked on it, it sent me off to a YouTube video. So it didn't really go... Oh, and I can name them as well. The wolf sounds fine. Let's go ahead and muster these men. Yes, muster the armies. 140 soldiers. And we'll start moving them. It takes 1 turn to get to the border. And then it takes another one to attack these guys. Hopefully they don't actually have that many troops up there. And yes, let's go ahead and end turn and move the army north. Right, so we move north. Unfortunate for me, the game kind of froze there. Luckily for me, there is autosave, so I was able to join in exactly where it crashed. So with that said, let's go ahead and continue on our journey to take over the village of Rudersburg. And let's go ahead and end turn then. They have a few, it doesn't say the exact number. I am able to let the AI play the battle, or I can go and control the battle, which is the preferable way, isn't it? Right, and here we have the map. So it looks exactly like the strategic map, or the world map. Just that this time I'm able to place my troops, so we don't get to see where the enemy placed their troops. But I think we're gonna place our soldier. I think this guy. We'll place him right there, and then they place their archer over there. So I will place my crossbowmen over here. They place some peasants out here. I'll place my archer over there. And we'll place me in charge of the men-at-arms. And then the cards, we get 2 swap, shields up, and 1 aim. And since the enemy is the defender, he gets to start and he plays a card. We don't know which one. My archer, it's his turn now. I can either shoot or I can move. Also, sometimes you need to make sure, you need to be careful firing over your own or friendly units. Due to the terrain here, trees protect from arrows, high ground and all that. It's probably better to shoot at this guy, will do a lot more damage, 11 to 18. While we have 5 to 9. Also, this guy is not he's not that big of a threat since it's just mustered peasants. The archer can actually do quite a bit of damage to us. So I'm gonna shoot at him. The thing is, I'm pretty sure he's gone ahead and used like shields up or something like that. So it might be that most of the arrows are not actually gonna do any damage. But we're gonna you know what? We're not actually going to shoot. We're going to use take aim on the crossbowman instead. We're still able to shoot. You know what? We'll reduce that. Even if he has that ability. No, he didn't have that ability. He had something else. We took out 14 of those archers, which is great. These guys just hold their position, which I don't know about. We gained another shields up. Now they I think they have shields up on this guy. And that's what they used. 7 guys, that's a lot out of a 20-man unit. That's not great. And then an additional 3 lost. That's not great that we lost that many for our general. We're definitely gonna do shields up on him. Oh wait, swap. That's not what I'm gonna use. I'm shields up. That's definitely needed. Can I do 2? No. That would be overkill. And then we're gonna entrench the unit. I'm gonna use the crossbowmen to shoot down these guys. Even if they have that, we're gonna do so much damage. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get shot down. Oh, he didn't have that ability. What did he have then? Took 13 men out of that, so that's pretty good. He's not gonna do a lot of damage. Oh, we had another one of those. Let's see. I can try to strike this out completely. Now we can actually see that he's got the Pavis ability. So he's going to soak up a lot of the fire. Plus, as you can see, the arrow is broken. So we're not getting a good shot. However, this guy will get a lot better shot on. And also we need to reduce this because there are 90 peasants against 9 men-at-arms. So I don't want to lose my general. 15 men take the initiative. That's pretty good. Another ability for that guy. Peasants move north, take 2 out of the general unit. We take 6. The general unit, I think we're gonna have to pull him back. Because if we lose him, we'll get such a morale. We'll lose so much morale that it could very well end very poor. The battle could end very early. Okay, this guy has Pavis. So I think we can do better shooting down this guy. He lost a lot of morale and he lost 27 people, I'm pretty sure. At some point they will surrender just by the fact that they have lost so many men. We're gonna do shields up on this guy, I forgot about that. And then good bow shot on this guy. 14 down, good. Only 14 men remaining. They've lost so many men, they might just retreat. Gonna focus in on this guy now. Ooh, lost another man. Not great. And now this guy is so close that the archer or the crossbowman cannot fire, I think. We're gonna move this guy further away. Should have maybe used more. I think it's better actually to fire here than to go melee. One of the things that I don't really like is that when they're close together, they should really lock together in combat. Which they don't, so you can just move them independently however you want. Which I think in most other games like this, the melee units lock together, so you can't... the movement range is lowered, or there's a penalty from disengaging. But here you can kind of like move however you want. Which I don't think that's a feature that they probably should change. Completely killed off the archers. And now we're gonna move up. I think we'll move to the forest. We can fire from there. And then the general moves up here. He's been sitting there the entire time and not doing anything. Now he moves out. Gain the initiative card. He's probably gonna soak up quite a lot of this fire due to the Pavis or whatever he has. Oof, only 2. And then trying to strike him. I think what we'll do is we'll fortify, and this guy needs to move away. If I lose my general, that's going to be a very negative morale bonus for my troops. He moved back. I think that's what he was trying to do. Then he was trying to go out and get my general. If he's going to just sit there, I can just sit and pelt him with bows all day. and eventually lose. Take aim, that's a great one. We'll give that to the archer because he's closer. And that'll enable him to do so much damage on this guy. Or can I do it like this? Can I do it on a unit that... Ooh, this is gonna be do massive amount of damage. 40! According to this. The entire unit is gone. And we have successfully conquered a new village. So we lost 17, killed 19. Clearly the best unit here was the crossbow guy. Did a lot of damage on the enemy. This guy, they focused a lot of him. So I need to boost that one if I continue fighting with those. We looted 200 gold, 5 ranged, 5 spear, 5 mail, 5 light armor. And yeah. And there we have it. Now we have a second village. This one with a population of 1300. They're doing double rations right now. They have a lot of wheat, so that's fine. And now we can actually see what the AI has been doing. And he hasn't been doing much, but then again I put in on being passive. I could press on, but I think he's definitely gonna have a bigger troop than what we've seen before. So I think what we'll do is actually disband the army here. So we'll disband them. The thing is, you keep 90% of the weapons and stuff. So we'll get back the weapons. Yes, I want to disband it. So 90% of the equipment has been replenished and put here. And then that population that those troops amounted to is added to this town, which is great. I think the wood guy will put him on iron instead. So we'll get iron. And with that, we're going to change out what this guy's doing. He's going to do heavy armor. And then he's going to do swords. And then we can do a lot more troops. And we can attack and take out this guy and win this. But that's going to take a while. So in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and end turn a few times to build up against this. And I'll see you then. Our town has certainly grown, and we certainly are in a position now to go ahead and recruit troops and do the final strike on our enemy. However, as you might note, the video is almost at 30 minutes at this point, and I think overdoing it isn't going to do anyone any favors. So I think, unfortunately for you guys, we're gonna end it right here. But hopefully, you'll like this one, and hopefully you'll stick around to see the second one. With that said, I say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!